Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Dead by Daylight. We are playing as the Wraith in this video, and once again, this is a post-commentary video. So I can give my thoughts on the changes on the Wraith in this patch, and a couple of other things as well. So to begin with, the big one for the Wraith. They've increased his base speed while cloaked, and this is a change that he's needed for a long time. And I honestly don't know why they didn't do it sooner. Because he was always a killer that had a lot of potential, like the Trickster currently does, you know, a lot of potential. But because of his slow cloak speed, he couldn't really do much with it. Like, it was a case of somebody would, you know, be within meleeing range. You'd hit them once, they'd get the speed burst and run off. But even while cloaked, it was a case of he wasn't moved fast enough to catch up with them again, and in a chase, for the most part, it felt like he was just a basic attack killer. You know, an M1 killer or whatever. But with this change they've given him now, just this one simple change, he's actually now a much more viable option. Because while cloaked, he can move so fast, his gen pressure is immense now. The fact that you can go from one side of the map to the other in about maybe 15 seconds is insane. You know, and to think that you had to use an add-on for that before is just is crazy. And now you don't, so you kind of get an add-on slot back. I say kind of because what one hand giveth, the other taketh away. As well as the speed boost while cloaked, they, for some reason, have also made him move slower while uncloaking compared to what he was at before. So now even if you catch up to a survivor, when you start uncloaking, they get a bit of distance on you, unless you're this ace who seems completely oblivious. Which I can't really blame him for. I am currently running the add-on, which makes it impossible to determine which direction the sound from my bell is coming from, so I can't really blame him for that. But yeah, they've made it so that he now moves slower than before when uncloaking, which is a big disappointment for me, because, like I said, having him now move faster while cloaked as a base ability now, rather than needing the add-on to do it. They've now made it so that if you want to counter his brand new slowdown, you're going to have to use the add-on that makes him uncloak faster, kind of defeating the object of the initial buff, you know? It's kind of like how with the Trapper currently, you need to take an add-on that gives him more bag space. It doesn't matter which one, whether it's, you know, brown, yellow, green, purple, whatever. But you need to take a bag add-on, which essentially means you only get one add-on slot as a Trapper. And it's the same thing with the Wraith still. You know, you have to take the add-on to reduce his cloaking time, decloaking time, sorry, to counter the new nerf he's had for some weird reason, and that only gives you one slot left, which is, I kind of get why they did it, but I also don't, you know, it's almost as if they were afraid the buff to his speed would be too much, you know, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think they needed to worry about that. Because it just kind of made sense. People were kind of getting to that point anyway by using the add-on. I forget the name of it right now. I want to say Windstorm, but that's probably not right. But you know the one I mean. The purple add-on, which made him super fast and zoomy while cloaked. You know, that's what nearly everybody was wanting to use to make him, you know, an actual viable killer or whatever. So people were doing that for a long time before this, so I don't really get why they needed to nerf him in that regard. It's one of the most annoying things, really, about this patch. I mean, the Trickster being as weak as he is, I can kind of live with, to a degree, because You know, he's a brand new killer. I guess they still have to figure him out as well, even though all the concerns people have with him existed in the PTB. But sure, like, whatever, it's fine. They can tweak him. He's brand new, you know, we'll just give it like a year, maybe he'll be in a good spot. But Wraith's been in the game forever, you know, and like I said, this is the kind of change that needed to be done for a long time, and then they've done it in a backhanded way. I don't understand that. You know, I like his speed boost, don't get me wrong, and it is good enough that it does kind of counter his brand new slowdown. I just don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with it at all. Things I do agree with, however, in this new patch, the change to Decisive Strike. Now, if you aren't aware of this, in the new patch, if you do anything after getting unhooked, and by anything I mean things like repairing a generator, sabotaging a hook, healing someone else, healing yourself. You know, anything that you wouldn't actually be able to do if you were genuinely being tunneled, then Decisive Strike deactivates. You don't get that full 1 minute duration. It's not a thing that exists anymore. And I like that change a lot, not just because, you know, I'm a killer main and I've been hit with it a couple of times, you know, it happens, whatever, I don't mind. But what used to annoy me about Decisive Strike was the fact that you could get hit with it after 58 seconds, when you knew for a fact that you left that survivor alone for that entire duration. You know, they were unhooked or whatever, and then you chased the rescuer for a good 45 seconds or whatever, then you downed them, then the first survivor came back, and so you downed them, you know, and picked them up, and they literally stab you in the back. Those moments were the most annoying, because you knew for a fact that you weren't tunneling them, which, you know, is a bit irritating when you know they've done gens as well. Like, you saw them on a gen during the chase, you know, something like that. That was always annoying. But these changes I do approve of a lot, because it means that it's going to essentially immediately get rid of the playstyle where you have that survivor with Decisive still active offering themselves up as a sacrifice for a distraction kind of thing. You know, that's going to stop immediately. Although I do feel bad for people who don't read patch notes, because there was one game I played as Wraith, not in this one, but in a different one, where this player had Decisive Strike, but they clearly didn't know that the change had come in. What happened was, they were rescued off of a hook right in front of me. You know, and both them and the rescuer ran in the same direction. But because I had kicked a nearby gen, like 30 seconds previously, the person who was unhooked, the person who had the active Decisive Strike, tapped the generator on their way past it, which counts as repairing the generator, which means their Decisive was instantly deactivated. And I decided to punish them for that mistake. I kind of feel bad about it, not gonna lie, because it is, by every definition of the term, tunneling in that regard. But, yeah. That was a harsh lesson that they learned. You know, which is why you should always read the patch notes. And always check your add-ons and your perks. Just in case something's changed. In any case, this has been Dead by Daylight with the brand new Wraith. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.